Cheers, I do buckaroos. How the heck are you? I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, finally able to relax on a Saturday with you. Cocktail hour Saturday. I know it's, well, no, I was going to say it's a little late for cocktail hour, but I think we're right there. Sometimes it's 5 to 6, sometimes 6 to 7. I think we're okay. Anyways, I digress. Gonna call me a liar for 30 minutes. Anyway, Ezra Brooks, Cask Strength Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's our single barrel offering at 120 proof, and I've turned it into a old fashioned, or an old fashioned might be a better way to phrase that. And I'm not afraid to old fashioned a Cask Strength whiskey because I know they're gonna, at 120 proof, it can take something. I guess the caveat might be it may be overpowering for some, but personally I think it works beautifully. Just have one. Just have one, man. So I've got 3 ounces of the whiskey in here. I've got 1 ounce of my homemade simple syrup using raw sugar. I've got a dark cherry and an orange peel for a garnish. As traditional. You finishing the rest of it?
Mm-hmm.
My wife. Yeah, I did. My wife and I, we got home today. It's been a long week for us, so we opened a bottle of wine from the Kiltoy Winery, 6 Night. And I drink a little faster, so I drink this a little faster. So I left enough for a nice glass for. I try to be even. Sometimes I end up with a little more than half, but I don't mean to. A 6 Night out of Orinago, something like that. It's a little north of a Joplin. I guess what east of Pittsburgh, Kansas. I don't. It's all in that general vicinity. Anyways, it's really good though. It's very tasty. Described as a semi-sweet red table wine. It was very enjoyable though. We really enjoyed our tour up there, or not tour, but our wine tasting, I should say. Anyway, I found this last weekend, and I was hoping to get up there this weekend, but I don't know if I will again. I don't know if I have the money, in all honesty. But McAdoo's was having a barrel sale. They're running it through this weekend as well. Because I got this for about $35, man. Shit you not. So I will, if I get a chance, I'll get back up there and buy another bottle because it's really amazing. And there's some other stuff there. There's another bottle that I might want to buy there too. It runs just under 40. So, but anyway, if I can, it's not going to be a moral imperative to hit there. But if I'm able to, I might run back up there. Would like to get one more of these bottles at this price. Anyway, 120 proof. Wow, this stuff is pretty amazing. So I've got it as an old-fashioned, and I've done my old-fashioned straight up, which means I've left no ice in the glass. I've chilled it very well. In fact, I chilled the glass very well. There was some frost on the glass as I took a picture, as you may be able to see there. But now I've talked so much. I've talked for 3 minutes. Anyway, Tom, you talk a lot, man. Anyway, I don't think I finished my thought there. I got off track. 3 ounces of the bourbon, 1 ounce of the simple syrup, and typically, a lot of recipes call for even amounts of both. And that just seems crazy to me. And typically, I'll use a ½ ounce to 3/4 ounce. But because I've got a bourbon of this strength, I went ahead and put a full ounce in, and a few dashes of some black walnut bitters. If you prefer traditional Angostura or orange bitters, as many old fashions will call for, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But I picked up this bottle of black walnut bitters a while back. A friend sent me a recipe for a maple old fashioned, and that was beautiful. But I've just fallen in love with these black walnut bitters. I love the aromatics and the flavors, that little spiciness it adds, a little pungency as well. But yeah, we split a bottle of wine. We're gonna relax a little more. Then I decided to just have myself a cocktail before I started dinner. A little cocktail before dinner sort of thing. The thing is, I never used to like the old fashioned. The Manhattan was always my cocktail of choice. And a lot of that was because I felt like everybody that was making an old fashioned was making them way too sweet. I started looking at recipes, and they would call for 2 ounces of bourbon, 2 ounces of simple syrup. I said, man, no wonder I can't drink that shit. Anyway, in my mind, anyway, every cocktail ought to have 3 ounces in it, especially since 2020. 2020 has ruined me for forever ordering a cocktail out. I got added to so many groups. There were so many of us out of work for a period of time. I was only down for about 5 weeks, but I had a lot of friends out longer than that. When my job came back, and at the time I didn't know if my job was coming back, and it took a couple 3 weeks before unemployment to kick in, so times were a little rough right away. So it was, seemed like a lot of us were doing cocktail hours early, right? It was an interesting time, but I found during that period of time, as I was making my own drinks, and I was experimenting with different cocktails, and I'd always wait till afternoon, but there was a lot of day drinking going on during that out of work period of time. Because everybody else was, and I found myself added to so many different groups, a lot of chug groups for some reason. There was a lot of chug groups going on. I was added to other groups as well, so, okay, I'll do, I'm with you here, I'm with you there. Anyway, but I did find that, so I started experimenting with different cocktails, the old-fashioned being one of them, until I got to where I enjoyed the cocktail. And it for me, it was about finding that balance between the whiskey and the simple syrup. And again, with most whiskeys, if I'm dealing with a 90 proof, about a half ounce half 3/4 ounce is plenty. Or I'm going to say 90 to 100 proof whiskey. If I'm dealing with an 80 proof, I find a half ounce max is all I need. Otherwise, it gets too sweet for my particular palate. Yeah, if you can hear the music in the background, I never know quite how loud to turn it up, so I hope you can hear it. But it is the amazing Gina Cecilia. She's got kind of this very gospel-like tone. It's pretty amazing. Anyways, a great vocalist. She's been around in business a while. And she has made a name for herself, but this latest disc is just amazing. Anyway, she also got into the food business last year, and apparently I haven't had a chance to try it, so I can't tell you how good it is. But the reviews I've seen on it are pretty amazing. Guess I'm gonna have to find a way to get to Nashville and find out. Anyway, gosh, that is a gorgeous cocktail. It really is. I'm typically when I buy a whiskey of a certain caliber, right, I want to drink it neat about all the time. At 120 proof, don't be afraid to put a little bit of water in. When I say a little bit of water, if you've got some bottled water, put about a capful in. That will release some of the aromatics. But again, at 120 proof, don't be afraid to put it on the rocks. My only advice to you if you do put it on the rocks is don't let it sit there too long, right? But it is 120 proof and it is a little hot. You don't want too much. You're going to be okay with a little bit, but you want too much water to get in there. I wouldn't highball a whiskey of this caliber, in all honesty. I wouldn't be afraid to Manhattan it, which I may try after a while. I wouldn't even be afraid to whiskey sour it, in all honesty, and I might do, because I got some lemons here, so I may make a nice fresh whiskey sour, especially with the weather we're having. I think it's that perfect cocktail. The Manhattan is my favorite cocktail, but for me it's more of a fall-winter cocktail, whereas the old-fashioned... Goodness. Whereas, sorry about that. Excuse me. Whereas the old fashioned, I feel like it's more of a winter, or a spring-summer cocktail. And the whiskey sour is definitely a summer cocktail because it's nice, it's light, it's fresh. But I had a lot of friends that were into the old fashioned. And every time I tried to order one out, it would just come back too sweet for me. So I started really researching recipes, and a lot of them come up even money, right? I mean, 2 ounces this, 2 ounces, simple syrup. Or some would say, 2 ounces of whiskey, 1.5 ounces of simple syrup. So no wonder I can't drink this shit. It's just way too sweet, man. So again, 3 ounces, 1 ounce for this particular proof of whiskey. Anything less, in all honesty, I typically only use about half to 3/4 of an ounce. And I do prefer a 90 to 100 proof whiskey in a cocktail like this. I'm not really a fan of an 80 proof because I feel like the whiskey gets lost. But again, that's just me and my taste buds. You may feel it 100% different. Hey, we all do things different, man. In fact, the older I get, the more I enjoy cask strength whiskeys, because I enjoy I enjoy the intricacies it has that you won't see if it is watered down to a lower strength. You just drink less, right? Just drink a little bit less. Pour yourself an ounce and a half, 2 ounces tops, neat. Relax, man. Don't get in a hurry. Just relax and drink it. Uh, Gosh, that's a nice cocktail. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for tuning in. And helping me relax, man, helping me get back to Zen after a hectic week and a hectic Friday and a somewhat hectic Saturday. Now I can really relax. Now that we're almost to the end of Saturday, I hope to do a whole lot of nothing tomorrow. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. Cheers. Have a good one.